Look, let's just jump right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. We are looking at a deeply contemplative and honestly a incredibly urgent piece of writing today. It's called Climate Talks and Action Now, and it was originally published back on November 6th, 2022, right around the exact time the whole world was gathering for the COP27 climate summit. And well, when major global events like COP27 happen, it is so easy for us to just sit back, look at the world leaders on our screens, and think, okay, the climate crisis is their problem to solve. But the material we're unpacking today, it challenges that exact assumption head on. It forces us to pause, look in the mirror, and really reflect on our own collective responsibility. It entirely reframes how we view our participation in this global ecosystem.
And wow, this opening statement completely shatters any sense of passive observation. In the climate court, we are all guilty. She hooks us right out of the gate by using the very heavy language of justice and accountability. By placing us in a court, she's basically telling us that a judgment is actively being rendered on the state of our planet. And the verdict? Yeah, none of us are innocent bystanders here. We all share in the complicity. It's a really striking, heavy way to open, for sure, but it perfectly sets the stage for the rhythmic breakdown of our everyday lives that she dives into next.
So the absolute crucial takeaway here is that there is no bench in this arena. The author writes, in the climate game, we are all players. When we think of a game, we usually picture spectators, right? Just sitting up in the stands, eating popcorn, watching the events unfold down on the field. But in the context of the Earth's climate, this is a massive wake-up call that every single one of us is wearing a jersey. Every action we take, every single resource we consume, and every daily habit we form, it means we are actively out there participating on the field. We're in the game, whether we realize it or not. But she doesn't stop at just playing the game, it builds into actual authority. In the climate space, we are all governors. This is such a brilliant shift from just being on the field to actually calling the plays. Think about it. A governor is someone who manages, directs, and makes the hard decisions for a specific jurisdiction. What she's suggesting here is that our climate space, so our immediate environment, our homes, our local communities, our offices, that is our jurisdiction. We govern how that space operates. We actually have the power to enact these mini policies in our daily lives that will either harm or help our shared global space. We aren't powerless at all. She makes it crystal clear that we are completely in charge of our own square footage. And right as we're realizing our own authority, she totally cranks up the pacing and the urgency. In the climate race, we are all runners. Calling it a race means the clock is ticking. It implies there's a starting line, a finish line, and it requires some serious stamina and speed. By framing the climate crisis this way, she injects this intense sense of immediate, ongoing effort. We aren't just out for a casual stroll, we are literally running against time. And notice that recurring theme again, we are all. Nobody, and I mean nobody, gets to sit out this marathon. Now, if you are a fan of structure, you're going to love how her logic maps out here. We can see how systematically she breaks down our existence just to establish this absolute universal responsibility. Over on the left, we've got the environment she envisions, right? A game, a space, a race, a court, a business, and a room. And then on the right, she pairs each one with our inescapable role. Players, governors, runners, guilty, traitors, and responsible. Look at how she literally covers every single aspect of society. She mentions, in the climate business, we are all traders, which perfectly highlights our economic exchanges. And finally, in the climate room, we are all responsible. It's just this brilliant rhythmic drumbeat showing that no matter what metaphor you use for the world, our active accountability stays exactly the same. Okay, notice this stark blank space here, which she uses to represent providing clarity. Actually, let's use this empty climate room to break the fourth wall for a quick second. I want you to imagine you're standing right in the middle of this empty white room. All the noise of global politics, the dense scientific jargon, the endless talking heads on TV, all of it is completely stripped away. It is just you in the room. This visual metaphor is challenging you directly. In your very own climate room, how are you acting responsibly? When all the distractions are gone and things are crystal clear, what is your individual contribution to the whole? So you might be wondering, who exactly is the mind demanding this intense level of introspection from us? Let's transition from the poetic message to the messenger herself, Oluyomi Oladevid. You can see her distinct logo right here from her archives. It's her unique voice, her sharp observations, and her profound structural thinking that guides this entire reflection on our global climate responsibilities. Let's dig a little deeper into her background, because it really contextualizes where this writing comes from.
Oluyomi Oladevid is a proud Nigerian, and she explicitly states in her bio that she has a deep love for people. But this isn't just some abstract feel-good love. She channels it into a fierce, practical concern for global development and transformation. She is a woman who genuinely enjoys generating real-world solutions. She's out there actively working to influence policy and strategy. And, as we just saw firsthand with her climate poem, she is incredibly dedicated to providing clarity. Her words aren't just artistic expressions, they are strategic tools that she uses to spark actual societal change.
But what's the core engine driving all this dedication? Well, a quote from her profile reveals exactly what motivates her work. "My Father God owns and rules the universe. He is the wheel within my wheels." This tells us that her absolute dedication to global transformation and climate responsibility is deeply, deeply rooted in her faith. She views the universe as something cared for and ruled by the divine, which directly motivates her to care for it too. And that phrase, "the wheel within my wheels," I mean, what an incredibly vivid way to describe your inner drive, right? It's her ultimate power source that propels her forward, giving her the relentless energy she needs to tackle massive global issues like climate change and policy reform.
Which brings us right to a lingering and pretty provocative question. Oluyomi Oladevid's work is punctuated by the hashtags #COP27 and, most importantly, #ClimateActionNow. She's provided the clarity. She's shown us the empty room, the court, the race, the whole shebang. She has completely proven that we all hold a role. So the question left for you is simply this. If we are all truly responsible in the climate room, what action will you take now? Not tomorrow, not when the next global summit rolls around, but right now. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll leave you to reflect on what your next move is going to be in the climate space.